Well, this week's image has been sent in by Debbie Roker. Hiya, Debbie. And the words you wrote to go with the images just hit the nail on the head in so many ways. It doesn't matter what camera you have, whether it's an iPhone or a Samsung or a point and shoot or a top-of-the-range DSLR, sometimes it is just enough to watch the sunrise. Don't worry about faffing around with filters. If you've got a camera phone, take a snap, but sit back and watch. You can get too caught up in filter this, filter that, what f-stop, what ISO, and you miss the moment anyway because you're faffing around trying to set your camera up. So sometimes having a DSLR or a point and shoot can actually detract from the moment. Sometimes it's nice to just go, plonk that down there, I'm going to sit and watch this sunrise. And your image, that I'll pop up in a second, is actually very good. You've got a nice dark leading area which contrasts beautifully with the ocean that has smoothed itself out, and it's brighter. You've got a bit of colour in the sky, you've got a silhouette, I think it's a house or a hotel. It works really well. But the magical thing about the image is the memory that it evokes for you. And that's what photography is all about. Every image should evoke a memory of some sort. So thanks very much, Debbie, for sending that in. Keep it up, go for it, girl. If you're going to get a DSLR, go for it. But don't ever lose the magic that you had in the words that you wrote to me. I'm at a place called Roa Island, which is in Barrow-in-Furness, I believe. And this wreck is the subject that I've come to shoot. You can see I'm looking straight into the sun looking at the camera, so I can't really see what I'm pointing at. At the side of the boat there are metal bits, and that's actually the wheelhouse, or whatever you call it on a boat, that's fallen off the top. And it's actually happened quite quickly. Andy was here a couple of months ago, and I think Mark Bodie was here, might have been last month. There's a rough time scale. And when Andy came, the boathouse was still intact. And when Mark came, it was intact but on the floor. And I didn't think we'd had that bad of weather, unless people have been stripping it, of course. Now, there is a bit of a backstory with this boat. I believe she was a fishing vessel. I might have that slightly wrong, but she was certainly used for a purpose. And then she was apparently purchased and moored out there somewhere as a boathouse. And a family lived on her for about 3 years, I believe, until she broke free from her moorings and ended up here. Now, there are several stories on the web about shipwrecks on Roa Island. I'm hoping this is the right one that I'm telling you about and the right one that I'm pointing at. It's not the easiest of subjects to shoot. The sun's coming down over here, so we're going to get some nice light. We've got very little detail in the sky, and the wind has dropped right off. So where I was hoping to get some sort of crashing waves, we're not going to get any. But we are going to get some nice light on this side of the hull. I'm tempted to leave it colour. I need to see what it looks like when I've actually taken the shot. I know what I want to do in my mind with it, and that involves turning it mono, but I'm not sure I'm going to get enough contrast. I kind of wanted to shoot from the other side, because then there's less guff in the background to have to Photoshop out. Because I'm hoping this is going to be part of my minimal mono negative space project for the summer. Well, it started off for the summer, it's now going to be a couple of years, I think, the way we're going. But it's lovely, finally, June's here, and short sleeves, it's great. It's a bit of a chill breeze, but it's not raining. So I'm going to just have a pootle around with the camera and decide on a composition. and I want a composition to include as little background as I can make it. There is a walkway out here that I'm guessing will get cut off when we get high tide. There are houses and there's some sort of obelisk over in the far distance. This could involve a lot of cutting and pasting. I'll see how it turns out anyway. Right, I'm going to crack on and have a mosey round, see what I can come up with. Well, I've spent a few minutes wandering around, tried from the other side, and I think it actually works. But I've come back to this side and I've put the 10 to 20 on because I want the ship to be filling the frame. And the first composition I've gone for is portrait orientation, because I noticed that the clouds in the sky, although there is very little movement, they are kind of, I'm not sure if they're coming towards me or going away, but I'm getting a bit of a V shape. I haven't got the polarizer on because the sun is coming in almost 180 degrees, which I think is wrong for it. I've got a 0.6 hard grad on. No, I haven't. I've got a 0.6 soft grad, and I've got the 10 stop. I'm at f13, and that gave me an exposure time of 11 seconds, which is crazy. That shows you how bright the sun is. I wish I could put the polarizer on because there's some lovely rocks underneath the water. And there are 2 mounds of seaweed covered rocks which are kind of acting as foreground. When I get into post, I will probably crop to those. I will have those just at the bottom of the frame. I can't get in any closer with the 10 to 20 on. I could put my wellies on or my waders, but there's an awful lot of seaweed and I don't fancy falling over. So I figured it would be safer to stay here. Now what I do want to do is try essentially the same composition, but in, oh good lord, find somewhere to balance my filters. In landscape orientation. The way it's working out is there's not exactly a lot of background tut to get rid of. Oh, a tripod that's moving because the rocks are so slippy. Now, it does feel like a slightly uncomfortable composition because the boat is over on the left hand side, and I think I would prefer it over on the right hand side. I was shooting at about 18 mil, I think. I'm just bringing it back a little bit. Yeah, that's too far out for what I'm after. That's better. So I'll frame up and then I'll check the level before I focus. See, my feet are just about to get wet. I just want to make sure the position of that, ooh, that grad filter is, because it's a soft edge, it's not leaving a particularly noticeable line on the boat. And because the sun is coming in directly behind me, I'm just going to stand up and shield the back of the screen and the eyepiece. Yeah, looking at the tide height, I really don't think it's going to come in a huge amount more tonight, and certainly tomorrow I don't see being worth hanging around for. Yeah, that's actually worked quite nicely. I'll just have a quick zoom in to make sure that everything is sharp. Put it into mono on the back of the screen. Yeah, quite like that. Quite like that, I did. So I'm just going to carry on having a mooch and seeing what else I can come up with. Right, I'm still playing. I've moved down to the opposite side of the boat and we're now shooting on the side that's in shadow. But I really didn't want to do an HDR because I'm bone idle and I really can't be bothered faffing in post. So I thought I'll bang the polarizer on, just see what happens. And I managed to turn it so the nice clear water down here, you've probably got about 10 foot of water that's clear before you start getting murkiness. I managed to put the polarizer in a position where it wasn't affecting the sky too badly, but it was making this clearer, if that makes any sort of sense. And then I thought I tried the 0.6 soft grad, and it didn't work because I've got a light band right across the middle of where the horizon is. There's a light band of cloud. So I had a bit of a light bulb moment and thought I'll put the reverse grad in, and I needed to darken this area as well. So I put the 0.6 reverse grad in and I pulled it all the way down, which strangely enough seems to have worked. Then I popped the 10 stop in, and my last image was, where are we? Just under a minute at f13. And when I convert that to mono on the camera screen, I think I'm getting the effect that I want. That was quite a pleasant way to while away a couple of hours. Let's say the tide, we're now at about 5:30 and the tide is on its way out. And it's so calm. It's crazy. So, did I get the images I wanted? No. But the conditions aren't such that I could have got the images that I wanted. And that's the reason why I'm not going to stay up here for sunrise tomorrow morning. The tide is going to be lower. I think to capture the image that I really want, I need the tide to be probably at least a 9 metre, if not a 9.5 metre tide. Now the issue is the boat is slowly being dismantled. I was just talking to a couple who came past in a kayak, and they were pointing out there's an RSJ being put in, and they've seen people sort of going in and taking stuff off. But apparently when she broke her moorings, she was always moored around here, but when she broke her moorings, she broke her back end when she came into these rocks. But what a fabulous life, living on a boat. Up here, wow. Cool, that would be awesome. So yeah, she's in a sorry state of repairs, but it looks like they are dismantling her. And maybe they will break her. It is a little bit of a boat graveyard around here. There's several slightly less than seaworthy boats knocking around in the little harbour. You won't see them. You might see a little buoy out here, a little pinkish buoy, and there's a boat attached to that I don't think will ever sail the seas again. Yeah, it's quite sad. I guess this is too big to just leave. So anyway, I'm waffling. I'm going to head back to the car. So I'll see you in the morning. Bye.